Hey, this is Professor Harris, your instructor for IDS 105 with my Module 5 video. Hey, I've enjoyed so far the chapters we've read for this course. I enjoyed the chapter on intercultural competency, enjoyed those sections talking about the various stages one goes through while pursuing competency. And then also that kind of section talking about the various attitudes and skills necessary for competency. I also enjoyed the chapter on socialization, especially those sections talking about the presentation or the performance of self. I think it's super important to understand that none of us has a single unified dominant identity, all right? But depending on the circumstances, various components of our identity might exhibit themselves. So I think a good example of this, and it probably works for you as well too, are the various yous that might be expressed depending on whether you are interacting with your parents, your friends, or your kids, if you have kids. I also like this week's chapter, which is on conflict. I'll just say right now, right up front, that I am not very good at managing conflict, whether one-on-one or in a group. What about you? The chapter explores 5 conflict management styles and conflict management tactics. So styles and tactics. So each of you has a dominant style, so a pattern of behavior that you're going to deploy whenever you encounter some kind of a conflict situation. But depending on that situation, and despite whatever your kind of default style is, and maybe that you deploy a pattern set of behaviors tactically as well too. So style, a dominant style, but you also have a set of behaviors that you can deploy tactically as well too. Importantly, and the author points this out, depending on the situation, one or another style may be very successful. Now there's one style, the collaborative style, which tends to be an all-around winner. But again, depending on the situation, there could be another one of the patterns, right, like avoidance or competition, that could be very successful as well too. So I hope you enjoy that section. You discover your tendencies and what your dominant style in managing conflict is. The other major topic we're going to explore this week is restorative practices. So there's a resource in your reading this week about restorative circles. I imagine that if you have encountered restorative practices before, it would be in the context of justice. Restorative justice being one of the kind of major types of justice. I want to link this to a Module 3 topic. So there is a personality typology assessment called Leadership Voices. You may remember in Module 3, you explored the Myers-Briggs personality typology. So we explored that one rather than the Leadership Voices. So when I took the assessment, I discovered that I was a guardian style. The other styles are connector, creator, nurturer, and pioneer. So the guardian is all about voicing what is right and what is true. So what is right and what is true. So I contrast to the other styles of connector and nurturer, who are all about relationship. So forging relationships, maintaining relationships, and restoring relationships. A guardian like me doesn't care so much about relationships, but those styles, relationships is all important. So when you think of restorative practices, think of relationships. Not so much important is truth and rightness or even morality, all right? But forging new relationships under times of challenge or restoring broken relationships. So we also have a discussion, as I mentioned to you, to do this week, which is on restorative practices. And then you have your final set of prompts to complete for the project draft. So hooray on that. Looking forward to seeing you in the discussion boards. Have a good day.